Well, good morning everybody and welcome. Welcome to a new week here on the Aussie lawn. And last week you would have seen in the intro this little magpie here. Now, I've nicknamed her Maggie, and at the moment it's magpie season here in Australia, isn't it, Maggie? And what she's doing now is she's collecting a little bit of mince to take back to her family. So you'll see here she's not actually eating it, she's just storing it in a beak. So what she'll do is when she's decided that she's got enough food in a beak, she'll fly off to the nest, she'll feed the chicks, and she'll come back. Now, I've sort of worked out that what she'll do is she will come back and do this once or twice. Now, I've worked out that if she does it once, she's got one chick feeding. If she does it twice, she's got 2 chicks, 3, etc. And she's off there now. So she'll take off in a minute. Once she works, yep, there she goes. So she'll take it off now to the nest, and then she'll be back here within less than a minute. Repeat the process. Now, once she's done feeding her family, so the chicks, she'll come back and she'll consume the food herself, and that's how I know. Now look, don't feed these birds all the time, and she doesn't, what am I trying to say? So it's normally this time, so maybe for a month, once a year, she'll come round, just give a little head start to help her little family grow, and yeah, she's pretty thankful for that, and she's very quiet and very tame, and unlike a lot of magpies that can swoop, she will never swoop. These birds actually have facial recognition, so they can sort of work out who's who if you want. So they know me, they know the neighbour, So what happens is these birds actually take you in as part of their family, and then once her chicks leave the nest, she'll bring them around here, and she'll sort of, I guess you could say, introduce them to me, and just sort of, yeah, so that's how that rolls out. That's pretty cool. Now, today's episode of the Aussie Lawn, I thought what we'd do is, spring's now upon us, and renovations are getting closer by the week. Hopefully starting that probably very early October. Just trying to line a few things up with some sand, and pretty sure Ben's coming over, and I've got a fella lined up who's going to come and core this with a proper coring machine. So that'll be pretty cool. Now, today we'll just do a bit of a round the grounds look. So we're going to have a catch up on the buffalo, see how it went after the frosts, because we counted, I'm going to say the frosts are done for the year now. The last 2 we had was about a week or so ago, maybe a bit more now. And what happened there is, she's on the way back now. She's coming around here now, I can see her. What happened there is we got 2 frosts in a row. Both of them were actually minus 2.4, so they were 2 heavy frosts just to finish off, but they're gone now. Come on, come around here. Come on. So what are we? Yeah, less than a minute and she's back. There you go. Good girl. No, so she's still collecting that. She's not eating it, so she's got another chick to feed. There you go. It's pretty awesome really for an aggressive bird. Well, they have the reputation, well they can be, this time of year, very aggressive towards people, swooping if they get too close to nests and stuff like that, but once they've worked out that you're no threat, they're not going to waste their time bombing you at all. Isn't that right, Maggie? And there she goes again. Let's get on with it. We might give this a bit of a cut with the greens mower, and we've got a bit of weather closing in here too, so what I might do is might give this my first application of granular for the season. I've got some stuff in there from the plant doctor sent me before winter, and it's a mini Prill greens grade sort of fertiliser, so I'm just going to give it a go and see what sort of effect we get from it.
I remember the day when we started talking. We were kids and I knocked down all of your mobiles, but you did not seem to mind at all. We took our bikes to the lake after school each day and skipped many stones from the beach, and one thing you said was, listen, I will have your back always. And now we're grown up, I don't really see you never been wrong. You are my own safety zone. You're solid like a granite stone. It came very sudden the day when we moved away from one.
4 days worth of grass in this catcher here, which is a crazy amount of grass. That's probably half full, or maybe it'd be a solid half full, maybe a bit better than half full. But I tell you what, for early September, we're sitting pretty. It's going to be a good season. We'll start on this green here, obviously. So generally speaking, look, I'm pretty happy with how this has come out of winter. I really do feel that those fortnightly applications of the Plant Doctor products, so the Seaweed Secrets, the Activate Mate, the Humic, what do they call it? Humic, I've got to think of the name. I'll put it at the bottom there. The soil wetting stuff, the Nature Soil Wetter. Look, I really think that has all contributed positively to this situation. Look who's back here. Where is she? There she is, the old foreman, Maggie. And anyway, so I really think it's had a positive contribution. It's been a bad year this year all round, and I've heard a lot of chatter from you guys as well about a lot of disease around, and I think this green almost escaped it as well, but there's a few little patches, a little bit here. I'm going to put that down to the season. I mean, as I said, we've come out of some pretty dry times. We've had some good conditions, so a bit like when you get a heap of weeds that come up all at once. It's when the conditions are right and it's just been laying dormant in the soil to do its thing, and I really feel this is one of those situations. But look, generally speaking, we're going to chuck that fertiliser on here later today, and I'm also going to start. Earlier on I talked about the starting to swap out some of this green with Tiff Dwarf. So let's go and have a little look at the patch that the donor patch. So this is going to be a little donor patch of Tiff Dwarf, and since you last saw it, it's actually really come on leaps and bounds, and you can see once it starts running, and you can see a reference for size against my finger there, it's so tiny. Once it starts running, it gets a real mat happening. So the only downside is I've just noticed in amongst it there is a tiny little bit of what I'm going to assume is probably Santarana cooch. There's a little bit in there, there's a little bit there. So got to be a little bit careful when I take this that I don't take anything other than the dwarf. So it's still going to be a bit of a delicate project. So this is just a matter of getting a few good sections of this out. Going to use that Pro plugging tool to do that, and I'll show you where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to start with this corner here. So basically I'm just going to get some spray. So I'm going to spray out here and from here. So that, come back a bit, that corner there, it's going to start with that. So all I'm going to do is just spray it out with Roundup, and I'm going to plug that section out with pure Tiff Dwarf. And it will be from that bit there that I progress forward from. So I'll sort of then walk away from that patch down there because it will become more contaminated as time goes on. Whereas if I keep the patch of it, where I can't control this camera, keep this patch of it here, I'll be able to keep on top of it. And my concept is I'm going to plug out probably a dozen little plugs in there and let that cover over and keep a buffer zone of Roundup around, a bit like a one of those edges spray of Roundup that I hate so much. So just going to keep it like that, and then I'm going to run along basically all the way along the surround there, just on that. If you're wondering what that patch is there, that patch there and that patch there, that was a video that probably won't make it to air. The other day I decided that I was going to do a little bit of a video on scarifying and grooming and all that sort of stuff, and I sort of shot it all and it just didn't really work, and it seemed to be a little bit boring to me, so I just sort of put it on the back burner for now. But I think you'd just rather see a proper renovation, so that's what that is in the background there. Anyway, back to the main story. So this section here will all be killed out, and then my idea is to run it all the way up that surround. So that'll be stage one, and it probably won't all happen this growing season, but as I get more stock of the dwarf variety here in the corner, I can then use it to progress upwards. So I just figure I'm going to go all the way up to the end. That's my plan. Then I might potentially even go then along there. I haven't really decided that bit yet. stage 1 will be straight up there, and it's just over it's about a metre wide. So there'll be about 20 square metres probably up there. Might be a bit more than that actually. Be 20 square metres up there, and then I'll start bringing it out in. And as obviously I get more stock, I'll be able to do more at a time. And I'm thinking out loud again now, I might even bring an excavator in and just change a little bit of this. I'm going to probably get away from, there's a little bit of a well or a low spot there. So I might get a turf cutter and cut all this out and just take that rise. There's a rise just through there somewhere, and I'll probably take it out just to change a bit of the fall. But that won't be this year. Righto, so we'll wander around here now. We'll have a look at the buffalo and just see how it's looking after winter. And don't forget, because we ran that project with that Envy frost spray system, and I actually think it worked really well, but I reckon it probably needed one more dose, because that last little pair of frosts that we had really changed things a fair bit. Now, the dead spots there behind, those circular patches, are all from that winter fusarium. So obviously I've controlled the fungus, but the scarring remains. The grass there dies, new grass needs to come through, but it didn't spread because we got onto it in time. However, these splotchy bitches, geez, I better beep that out. These splotchy bits here, it's actually from the frost, and that's why I reckon one more dose of that Envy Frost Guard would have sorted that problem out. But as I said, it was those two last sneaky frosts, those -2.5s were the ones that finished the job off. So yeah, unfortunately, next year I think we'll try 3 doses, but that's the way it goes. But come up here, I'll give you a quick look-see at what happened without the Frost Guard, and you guys be the judge. Right, so straight away you can notice big colour difference straight up through there. It's just totally different, the whole thing. So I really do think there's some legs in that stuff, and we'll do a more concise trial next year and see how we roll out. As we head into the renovation season here too, so we're going to head into renovations pretty soon here on this buffalo, and that's a lot of people want to know about scalping and shaving and scarifying, all that sort of stuff. So I've decided I'm going to sacrifice this piece here, which was a bit of our control piece, the one that we used. We didn't spray any Envy frost spray on. Going to scarify this section with that Scott Bonner 46 scarifier. Show you guys, is it a good thing, is it a bad thing, what happens when you do it. So we're going to do that bit there, but the main part of the yard, or the main part of the buffalo, behind me here, I'm just going to do my traditional shave with the mower, right down low, feed, let it come back up again. So that's what's coming up with the buffalo, and all you buffalo fans there at home, that'll be an interesting one for you guys, because it'll answer a few questions. Plus also, don't forget, we've still got the my mate's buffalo around the corner, that neglected stuff that's really thatchy, thatch upon thatch upon thatch. We're going to hook into that and try and turn it back into a respectable, nice front lawn. And finally, that come out to the front here, and as I said, it's been a season for disease, so we've still got some fungus infections going on here. They have been now treated. They've been treated twice, so what you're seeing is just the scarring. The fungus is now taken care of. Other things to note, obviously I had sprayed out these broadleaves, and they are starting to look a bit sick. It's just the mode of action for monument, so yeah, they won't do too much more. But it's also throwing up a lot of seed head right now, so it too is ready for feed, but renovation's around the corner. But we'll still give it a light feed now, so come renovation time there'll be some coring, top dressing, shaving down to absolute bare dirt, and that's the way I prefer to manage cooch, is straight down to dirt. And yeah, but no, she's looking pretty good considering we had those 2 frosts only a fortnight ago, and they're pretty savage ones too. Righto folks, well that pretty much brings us to an end of another week here on the Aussie lawn. That was our, I guess, winter roundup, and as you can see, held pretty good colour. Obviously not Queensland colour, but for New South Wales, fairly impressive. So I'd still like to get back on the rye train next year, just for the dramatic effect. There's nothing like a bit of rye striping in the winter. Really helps this place, or this front lawn, pop and stand out. So anyway, guys, look, hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you here next week on the Aussie Lawn.